Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Car 5 Podcast. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today for episode number 136 of the Car 5 Podcast. You guys know me, of course. I'm your host, Joshua. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about Hennessey, and they've created a brand new Camaro they are calling the Resurrection. Now, everyone, I got to tell you, Hennessey is bringing the heat. Literally, like you don't even realize. At this year's 2019 SEMA Auto Show, Hennessey unveiled a brand new Camaro that they've recently put their magic on and have created an absolute monster. We all know and love the previous Camaro they made, known as the Exorcist, and the brand new Camaro they've just created is called the Resurrection. And very shortly, we'll actually compare the two to you so that way you can see how much more of a beast the Resurrection is compared to the Exorcist, which is already mind-blowingly incredible. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of the details of this new Camaro from Hennessey. Again, they are calling the Resurrection. Now, it's basically a tuned ZL1 with a bit of a twist. It's going to feature the LT5, which is a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 that is being pulled directly from the newest ZR1, which is going to boast an incredible 755 horsepower. Now, that's just as the engine sits. That's not Hennessey doing anything to it. Trust me, it gets a lot more impressive as soon as Hennessey puts their hands on it. What Hennessey did for this new Camaro, the Resurrection, they took that LT5 straight out of a ZR1 and they did a fuel swap to E85. They ported the blower, ported the throttle body, ported the heads, and did a new tune which allowed the Resurrection to have a grand total, wait for it, of 1,200 horsepower and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Now, you can get this Resurrection with that absurd power coming from a muscle car two different ways. You can get it from a 6-speed manual, in which if you get a 6-speed manual Resurrection Camaro from Hennessey, you're going to get a brand new center force clutch. Now, if you decide to get an automatic Resurrection Camaro from Hennessey, an automatic transmission, you will be acquiring, additionally, a brand new torque converter and a carbon fiber clutch pack. Now, when it comes to muscle cars, this is just me personally, I will only ever get a manual transmission. That's just a personal choice that I have. I adore manuals in muscle cars. I love manuals. But I would be perfectly okay with getting, obviously, the automatic and the 2020 GT500. But that's the only exception. If it's a muscle car, I'm getting it as a manual. I can promise you that. Now, there will only be 24 Resurrection Camaros made from Hennessey. They're only going to produce 24 of them. And they will cost you a couple pennies. They will be about $200,000 each. So they're not going to make that much of them, and they're pretty expensive. So if by chance you are listening to the podcast and you are thinking to yourself, you know what, I might like a Resurrection Camaro, I would pick up the phone and give them a call because they're not going to make that many. Now, how does the Resurrection, which has God's power inside of it, compare to its brother, the Exorcist? Now, the Exorcist is no slowpoke, as we all know. The Exorcist has 1,000 horsepower and 883 foot-pounds of torque. That car blew everyone away. And then Hennessey won up the Exorcist and created the Resurrection, as we all well know. The Exorcist has a top speed of 217 miles per hour, a 0 to 60 time of 2.1 seconds, and a quarter mile time of 9.57 seconds at a top speed of 147 miles per hour. With the Resurrection having 200 more horsepower and 117 foot-pounds of torque more than the Exorcist, it's pretty safe to assume it'll have a higher top speed, faster 0 to 60, faster quarter mile, etc., so forth. Now, we just have to wait for more news from Hennessey to see how these times actually exist and what they'll come to fruition and what they'll be. But until that, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we currently know from the Hennessey and their creation of a brand new Camaro called the Resurrection. Now, I absolutely love how, this is just me personally, you might agree, you might disagree. I think it's pretty cool that Hennessey's kind of going, I don't know if you would call it like more of like a biblical theme, but they're going with Exorcist, they're going with the Resurrection. I don't know if it's just me. It's pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the Resurrection Camaro compared to the Exorcist? Which one do you like more? I mean, I think it would be safe to assume to like the Resurrection more because it's more powerful, but maybe you like the Exorcist more. I don't know. Until we actually see the Resurrection on the roads, hitting the quarter mile, we've only just heard information. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for episode number 136, talking about how Hennessey has put God's power, literally, in a brand new Camaro they have tuned, and they're calling it the Resurrection. Don't forget to follow on Instagram, like on Facebook. If you guys are checking out the podcast for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Feel free to head over to the YouTube channel, unless you're watching on YouTube already, and if you are, thank you so much, and just browse around. If you guys see what you like, hit that subscribe button. If you don't mind, leave a like on this video as well. You know, if you ever need anything from me, just shoot me an email. I'm an open book. info@car5podcast.com. Don't forget to check out the link in the description, your guys' go-to source for the best car apparel out there. You guys looking for your favorite hat, shirt, jacket, accessory from your favorite car company? It's Christmas season. We're getting towards the holidays, so get all your favorite merchandise now. Got a coupon code for you guys as well. www.tlog.com. Last but most certainly not least, don't forget to tune into our next episode, number 137. We are going to be talking about Maserati and their final rendition of the Gran Turismo, and it is being called the Zeta. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Please remember to drive safe and have a fantastic evening. Thank you.